All right, let's get set up. I certainly apologize for not wearing any foundation today, but actually, the reason you haven't heard from me is that I am sick, and so I'm just not in the mood to do the whole face. I've just got a cold flu type thing. My partner's son is sick, so I don't know if I picked it up from him or if I've picked it up at the gym or wherever. Who knows? It's not too bad, so I'm hoping that that flu vaccine is helping me fight it off a little bit quicker. But it is what it is, and yesterday I was just not in the mood to record. But today, even though I'm not feeling so well, I have enough energy to just speak about a few things that are on my mind. And the first thing I really need to get off my chest, and I think this will help you, this concept will really help many of you, is I have changed my mind on a certain topic. Let me just bring that down. So, when I was younger, I think I've mentioned this before on this channel, I grew up watching Oprah. I grew up reading a lot of spiritual books, a lot of books channeled, a lot of books on love and manifesting. And, you know, Oprah is full of the redemption stories, the alcoholic who makes a big change and recovers, the husband that changes his ways and is then kind to his wife, you know, with all the Dr. Phil, Gary Zukavs, all these kind of leaders, Michael Singer, there's so many on Oprah. And she's got that sort of spiritual leaning, Martha Beck, all these, anyway, all these redemption stories and how people change their lives and turn their lives around. And that's wonderful. And I've also grown up Christian. My dad was Catholic. You get taught turn the other cheek, all these sort of concepts. So just bear that in mind as you hear me out. And so I grew up with this very strong belief, desire, nature to always forgive people their wrongdoings, always seek to understand people, to give them the benefit of the doubt, to understand that it's their childhood traumas that have informed their current behavior, that they are acting out of pain. And so basically, the sort of theme and feeling is they don't mean it and they deserve forgiveness and love, and they do. But as an adult now, I have come to a different kind of thinking on all of this, is that all that may be true. Childhood trauma, hurt people, they do need love and forgiveness. But the way I've changed is that unacceptable behavior is unacceptable. And no amount of childhood trauma, past hurts, what they've been through, is an excuse for their behavior currently. And the reason I've come to this is because I'm sick and tired of people being assholes, and I'm sick and tired of seeing me and loved ones hurt by other people all the time, and it's not acceptable. And I think as a society, we actually need to hold a higher standard for adults. I'm not talking about children. Children are learning, they're growing, they're making mistakes. But yes, we should obviously nip bullying in the bud when it's in small children, so that hopefully they grow up to be adults who take accountability for their actions. Because far too many adults don't. They walk around this earth thinking they can just do whatever the fuck they want, they can act however they want, hurt people, trample over people, disregard people's feelings. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing good people get hurt, abused, taken advantage of, steamrolled, bullied, bulldozed. I'm sick and tired of it. And it is enough. And I speak for myself, and I speak for friends and loved ones and family. No excuse is valid. It explains their behavior, sure. They may have been through the shittest circumstances, and for that my heart breaks. I know many children grow up in abusive homes, homes where there is drinking, homes where there is shouting and violence, poverty, really, really bad conditions. I get that. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't have empathy for that, but it still does not excuse their behavior, because behavior needs to be stopped. The bad behavior, no one should tolerate bad behavior from another person. And I don't know how to change it, because those of us who are softer, weaker, more doormats, more people pleasing, I have so many friends who are like that, good, kind hearted people who we just don't know how to say no, how to stand up for ourselves, how to say that is enough. Because these people have the tools, because they've grown up in these violent situations or really shitty situations. They've got these like tools, learned behaviors where they just know how to push, bulldoze, steamroll, bully, these mean negative tactics, and they know that it works and it will get them what they want. And they have total disregard for how it leaves you feeling, because they just want what they want. And I'm talking about in business, I'm talking about in, you see people deal with people. And I have such sweet, kind-hearted friends and people and family members in my life. And my son is also very good and kind. And I hope I can teach him to stand up for himself, but with love. And I don't know the way. I don't know how it's done, other than like I fumble my way around with this, because you want to do it in a way that is still respectful to the other person, because every human being deserves respect. But I've come to this conclusion that I actually don't care what you went through. I mean, I care, but I don't care in terms of you are now an adult and you need to take responsibility for how you treat other people. Because I know people who have grown up in horrific childhood circumstances and they've turned it around and they've become better people for it. And so there's no excuse, actually. And this is where I'm coming to. There's no fucking excuse for being an asshole. And like, that is that. I'm done. I'm sick and tired of assholes and bullies and bulldozers and mean people and people who are just so self-centered that they will do anything for number one. And I'm not saying to not look out for yourself. Obviously, that is the point of why I'm saying this, is so that the good and kind, sweet people also protect themselves equally. I just hate seeing this unfair, negative, this behavior that's negative that just keeps spiraling. And like I said, I don't know how to fix it, but at least I've changed my thinking on it. It's unacceptable. That unacceptable behavior is unacceptable. And where people are mean and they spin stories and they try and obfuscate, how do you say that word? Obfuscate stuff just so that they are not ever pinned down. This bullshit baffles the brains, which is horrid. I was taught that in sales and it's not right. You should never ever bullshit someone. Never. As a society, we should be better than this. We need to hold everyone to a higher standard. I really fully believe that. We need to be honest in our dealings. We need to be upfront. We need to be moral and ethical. And I fully believe you can get where you need to go with all of these things intact. And it's not to say that you will never make a mistake. Like, let's say you want to be moral and ethical, but life, society, pressure, you're in a job, let's say you're in a sales position and the pressure is on, you might do something and you regret it immediately. Fix it. Fucking fix your mistake. Say sorry, take it back, be accountable, be responsible. Is that too much to ask of every adult? I think not. I think adults need to adult, and we all need to step up to the plate. And these kinds of people don't. They are grown up little children, toddlers that throw tantrums, that use fear tactics. They think if they shout the loudest and it works, they're right. If they shout loud enough, people will back down. If they just keep beating their chest and screaming and yelling and being mean and throwing mean statements and undercutting people and hurting people, that they will win. And unfortunately, it does work. It does work. I have given up, bowed down, bent over backwards for these type of people. And I've just reached a point where I'm tired of it. And I still, like I say, I don't know what the answer is. Maybe you guys have something to share, but don't you think it's enough? And don't you think we should actually stop worrying so much about, oh, their sad childhood, bring out the violence? That is for their therapist, and that is for them to fix. And it's actually not our jobs to fix them. It's like when you get into a relationship with one of these people, it is not your job to fix another human being. And yet often people do that. They get into relationships hoping that they can fix and change someone or save them. Their love will save them, rescue this person. And it's, yeah, like I said, I don't know the answer, because I wish love could save and conquer all. And maybe ultimately it does, but that person, that broken person needs to love themselves. And the sad truth is that most of them will not come to that, which is heartbreaking. It really is. But I've been thinking about this a lot in terms of being a mother. How do I give my son the tools to navigate people like this in his life? Because there will be people like this. They're everywhere. I'm sure you can think of people like this. We all can. And I don't know, other than to maybe give him warning signs so that he doesn't let these type of people in too close. I think of a friend of mine who got into a very abusive relationship because she was sweet and kind and naive. And luckily she got out, but most of us don't get out, sadly. And yeah, so how would one sort of see that before it becomes a problem? And I think the thing that we should maybe teach children is it is not your job to rescue a broken human being. It is not, and I will say that again, it is not your job to rescue or fix another broken human being. You cannot fix someone else's pain. The only way is that they need to do it for themselves. And so I would assume that if everyone tried to not like just hands off these broken people, other than the therapists, of course, that is what they're trained to do. But like if that friend had sort of immediately seen, okay, he's acting out in all these ways, and hadn't tried to forgive him and shame, it's his childhood and it's his negative upbringing and he doesn't mean it, and he said sorry, so I'll forgive him. I think forgiveness is quite dangerous in some respects. So I understand what it is. It's for you to let go, but this thinking of forgive, turn the other cheek can get a lot of us into tricky, tricky situations. And I know with her, I mean, she's a devout Christian, that forgiveness probably got her in way deeper than she intended. And look, now she's moved on, she's happily married, it's all good. But I think about people like that, and I really like, I want my son to forgive, but you can forgive at a distance. And I'm going to teach him that it's okay to keep certain people at an arm's length. And if you are entering into business dealings, like I've just had a business dealing with one of these arseholes, luckily I got out of it. You can always try and get out of it and try and also rather cut it and let them explode, but then you have no further dealings with them. So yeah, that's sort of what I've been thinking about lately. And the other thing is I've been thinking about the glamorization of alcohol in movies and TV and all these shows that you watch. Like I was thinking a while ago, there was that movie which I enjoyed. I enjoyed the movie A Bad Mom's Christmas. But these mothers just turned to booze to solve their problems, and that's not right. Especially because they're mothers. It's not right. And then you think of like Grace and Frankie, where Grace is permanently drunk on vodka, on martinis, that's the word. Um, and so many, movie after movie after movie after TV series. What do all the characters do when they're celebrating? They drink. What do they do when they are miserable? They have a problem? They drink. What do they do when they are together with family? They drink. What do they do when they go home for Christmas to deal with their family? They drink. And I think the TV and movie industry should take a long, hard look at that, because I personally think it is normalizing the use of alcohol for every occasion. And really, really, I think it's damaging. I think we need to see far more TV and movies I can't talk, where the characters come together to socialize and have tea or coffee. Why are they always out for a drink? Selling Sunset, selling the OC, all these reality TV series, also Love is Blind, they are forever having alcohol. Now in Love is Blind, they have those like golden goblets, which you don't always know if it's alcohol in there. But a lot of the time, these reality TV shows are feeding them alcohol just to see what will happen, because they know it's going to be a disaster and it's going to make for better TV. But we watch it and we always, like, I count the number of times I'm watching a character in a movie, in a TV show, on reality TV, drinking alcohol, and it is constant, and it is enough, and it needs to stop. All the Housewives series, what are they doing? They're drinking alcohol. And I'm not trying to shame anyone. I get it. We all like to have one or two now and then. Nothing wrong with that. As long as you are in control and it is not controlling you. However, it is a toxin. We know this. There is clear research now that it has no health benefits. It is really, and the health benefits, probably if you just had good sleep and never drank alcohol, if maybe there are, it's not worth it. The health benefits are so small and insignificant compared to the damage that drinking does, because it is addictive. And if you do it over and over and over again, it is damaging. It wrecks your sleep, it wrecks your skin, it wrecks your liver, it wrecks your kidneys, it wrecks so many systems. And the healthy and safe amount is so small that most people have more than that. Even when they are moderate drinkers, they go way over the healthy amount. So, like, really, as a rule of thumb, it should be a drug. It is a drug. And I'm not saying don't drink, and I'm not saying you can't enjoy in moderation. I do now and then. But I'm very mindful of, well, when it gets sort of, it starts to creep as well, because you'll go out, have a few, and then okay, I'll have another the next day, and and 3 times a week. And then next thing you start thinking about, oh, I really feel like a drink. And then it becomes a problem. And I do think about that a lot, because I think every time we watch anything on TV, movies, social media, there is booze involved. Booze. Sorry, I mumbled that word. And it's wrong. And I shudder to think that this is what our children are watching too. And that's where it breaks my heart, because the kids look up to their TV stars, movie stars. Now it's social media stars. And there is booze and alcohol involved. Reality TV. And so the youngsters, like, let's say 17, 18-year-olds, looking at Selling the OC, Selling Sunset, they're looking at these glamorous lives. And in everything I ever watch on TV and movies, a glamorous life sort of goes hand in hand with alcohol. I have yet to see any character, real reality TV or actual movie character, be glamorous and have a healthy lifestyle and boring. It's just not glamorized. I've yet to see a character go to bed at like 8, 9 o'clock, early to rise, be healthy, fit, go for a run, eat healthy foods, cook and prepare their own foods at home, drink tea, and then go to bed without booze at all. That is not seen as glamorous. The glamorous lifestyle that is portrayed is always jet setting, booze, parties, cigarettes, drugs, sleeping around, money, this sort of doing whatever it takes to get to where you want to go. And that is so wrong. It is not glamorous. It is unhealthy for your body and your mind and your soul and your psyche. And it does make me sad. It makes me sad that a truly good life is not seen as glamorous. And it should be. Anyway, I can feel that my nose is starting to burn. And I do need to go and rest a little bit. And yep, there's my dog sleeping in the background, and he actually needs to go to the parlor. He stinks. And yes, I can bath him at home, but the way they brush and dry him, it just makes him smell better for longer. And they're not expensive, and his fur, it really does get knotted when I do it. So I'm going to drag myself out, and then hopefully I'll feel better soon. And I love you guys. I will see you guys in the next one. And please do let me know what you think about these ideas that I've spoken about. Bye.